Hashima, respectful greetings to all ones. Welcome to the Black Open University, Abundant Centres UK Development Trust and the You Learn Naturally Learners Cooperative. Warm greeting to all members and all friends. This is a very quick video. I just thought I would show you a poster that has been developed around hair structure. I was asked at a recent event to explain this, put it on a video and talk it through a little bit. So here it is. It's just a rough video, but I think you'll get the idea. So this poster is about hair structures, all hair structures, but you will notice that it features the African coiled hair structure as the image. This is a very rare thing. To see the image is a very rare thing. We've had that specially designed, specially illustrated to bring out all of the key points, and the detail of it is built on 2 years of Science Week presentations that we've been doing, particularly the last one in which we worked with Professor Donald Palmer, who did a very, very wonderful talk on melanin and the various differences in ethnic skin types. So this is a poster. It's quite a large poster. It is retails for $9.95. It introduces the hair structure, the biology of the hair structure, and then gives a reasoning to help you visualize exactly what we're talking about. When I show this poster, people tend to ask, what can they do to make their hair grow? Or will it help them with X, Y, and Z conditions to do with their hair? This poster is the beginning of the conversation. So before you can know what to do with your hair, you have to know what your hair is. So, hair structures and the alpha helix design. This poster, as simple as it may look in terms of being one sheet, it is something like an encyclopedia. Everything on it is well connected and in I would say, a very refined logic, so that everything answers itself within the structure of the poster. Every piece of information is validated or informed by the other parts of the poster. So, I do hope you enjoy it. You'll come to see that this poster is made in a unified knowledge style. Unified knowledge is an approach to education where art, math and science are essentially viewed as one. This comes from an African-centered, African place of being. And so we are advancing with this poster and the various books and projects that we're doing, unified approaches to learning. You'll see that there are some math terms that are pointed out in this poster. So as well as being a hair poster, you could view it as an introduction to mathematics, also a chemistry poster, as well as a biology poster. You see that the introduction spoke about the 3 classic questions. What is number? What is measure? What is ratio? Leading on to exponent and reciprocal, leading on to the unit of power. This term is an innovation in the poster. This is not a term that people use often. In fact, I've not seen it used before. But when you read the poster, you'll see that it's actually very, very helpful. That is helpful in working with number. And as you may know, if you are members, you will know that number is a tool of perception. Logarithm is introduced. Building on exponent, logarithm is introduced. And we've done that because the poster goes on to speak about pH. The pH system is all the vogue now. People are talking about pH this and pH that. And as fluent as we all sound with it, most people don't know what they're talking about. So this poster will allow you to know what the pH really is. Yeah, it's important. So having learnt the basics, the basic ideas behind pH, we can now explore some of these treatments that people are talking about in regard to hair treatment, skin treatment, and pH. So the poster goes to this place and has a conversation about apple cider vinegar. Some leading hairstylists they recommend apple cider vinegar. Did you know that certified organic apple cider vinegar will bring your hair and scalp back to its proper pH level? Apple cider vinegar has a natural softening effect. It softens the hair. It helps to close the hair cuticle, leaving the hair softer, which also results in it being a great reflector of light, thereby being shinier, thereby being more protected. So, this conversation about the apple cider vinegar is gone into in more detail on the poster as well, and it's important from a educational point of view not to begin the conversation with the treatments, which I know many people would like, but in fact to deal with all the principles that you have to know before you can talk about the treatment consciously. So this is also there. The poster has information about this as an example, just one example, to show you the true depth of science behind such ideas. So here you see that you have one shaft of hair illustrated, taking through the substructures, going into a more and more refined level of the substructure. This one, the macrofibril, you see there's a unit of measure there. Now that unit of measure, you might not be familiar with that unit of measure. So we've put on the chart a scale of all of the units of measure that are used in modern science in terms of measurement of distance. The poster is on sale as a physical poster, but you'll see that this is an online version. People who buy the poster will have access to the online version. It's an exclusive thing, so it's not available to the public. Only those who have bought the poster and register with us can have access to this. You may find it advanced or you may find it easy, but what I would say is that this is an excellent thing for children of all ages, the very young. Just looking at the images and the way number is expressed on it gives a certain comfort and a certain logic, which is good, and later on can be built upon. We have a lot of conversation when I do my stalls and presentations for this. Many people start to speak about 9-ether, African hair, 9-ether, antenna, and all kind of talk like this. And that is interesting talk, but not many people can substantiate that talk. So again, the point of this poster is to get to the physical science of the hair structure. So you see here, this is showing under the skin. It's showing from the root of the hair all the way through one hair shaft, all the substructures, down to the amino acid, which makes up the keratin protein, which is in the alpha helix structure, down to the atom, down to the subatomic. It's illustrated on this one poster. You'll see there's a three-dimensional model of this amino acid. So you have two ways of viewing it. The types of bonds are shown. And that's useful to know in terms of the polypeptide backbone structure, which is the bonds that form that are the bonds that get broken when you wash the hair with water or you wash the hair with some other chemicals. Different types of bonds get broken. So the poster sets up a situation where you can get to know that, and you know you need to know more. So get the poster. It's $9.95. Available at peoplescience.org.uk. The amino acids that make up the keratin or make up proteins are basically built up of these 5 atoms. So those are illustrated here, giving their atomic number. The explanation of what an atomic number is explained on the poster as well. When we talk about unified knowledge, this is what we mean. So here you have a poster that has a very artistic illustration. It brings in biology, chemistry, mathematics into one form, one space. Because we spoke about number before, when you see numbers here, you'll know that number is a tool of perception and view it that way. This structure is the periodic table. Normally the periodic table is expressed as a chart with various blocks that relate to each other, not in a particularly aesthetic way or a way that you see a natural synergy. This way presents the same periodic table in a spiral form, which is, there are many ways to express it. Many ways to express the periodic table that allow different kinds of perception of what it is. It's important along the way of this conversation to speak about ions and isotopes. So those things are introduced. And water's self-ionization process, which is a constant reality, meaning that water is shifting from being apparently a neutral substance to splitting, shifting its balance constantly at such a rate that it appears to still remain balanced, but it is actually in fluctuation. You'll see from time to time there's some words that are written with a different script. That script is the script of Ethiopia. So there are some key words in the unified knowledge approach to education. We used Amharic, which is the federal language of Ethiopia, as a keyword language of instruction. So there are some key words that, to retain the African place of being, the African reference point, we use those terms to explain some of the ideas, and that makes it more holistic if you're coming from that point of view, or simply wanting to be in more harmony with nature. So now we get to this section on the pH. pH relates to power of hydrogen, but the reality of the pH is that the conversation should be about two things, not just one thing. It's two things in a ratio, in a relationship. Anyway, I'll let you see the poster. When you read the poster, you'll find out exactly what those two things are. This presentation, in terms of the way it's presented on the poster, is also exclusive. It's not something you find in regular textbooks, but when you read it, you will see that it's correct and better logic. It sets up a better logic, whereas a standard system approach to this leaves you with half of the idea. Literally, half of the idea. Again, this word ratio was explained right at the beginning, because these are the three classic things that have to be known. What is number? What is measure? What is ratio? So if you want to know about your hair structure, you'll have to be able to answer those questions first to get into it in terms of science, in terms of physical science or physical knowledge. This is sheet 1. There are several more sheets to come, and yeah, they will be as deep as this. So do get the first one so you can join in the collection. You can start to collect from the beginning and be holders of such a classic resource. The purpose here of speaking about Avogadro's number and the mole is to enable the holder of this poster to be able to use the measure at the atomic level, to be able to count the amount of atoms in their hair if they chose to do it. You could do that based on the logic of this poster and the information of this poster. So the poster is not just showing you a pretty picture, It's giving you a way to know deeply and visualize clearly what the structure is. Yeah, I mentioned earlier the polypeptide backbone. So this is the structure of the amino acids, the keratin, the protein, and how they bond together. There are particular types of bonds, and in terms of hair care, these bonds require different kinds of treatments or processes to break them and to help them be restored. So this is the nitty-gritty of the hair treatment. This resource is produced through People Science, and the organization of People Science essentially is about research and supporting advanced learning. I've mentioned unified knowledge several times, and you'll find here it's written with some Ethiopian script. The Ethiopian script says Yitmer Öket, which means unified knowledge in the Ethiopian language, in the Amharic language. Yitmer Öket, unified knowledge. This is a pedagogy, an approach to learning and teaching and education which sees the unity of art, mathematics, science, and that is best pursued through nature and story. You know you need to know more. As I said, this is just a quick rough cut video just to give you an introduction. People ask me to do this, so here it is. I hope it's helpful. And again, the poster is $9.95. It's available through peoplescience.org.uk. You can purchase it there, and it's a must. It's a must for every family, every teacher, teaching anything to do with life. It transcends the fact that it's talking about hair. For example, the fact of dealing with logarithm means you've dealt with something as apparently abstract as the Richter scale. So the knowledge is a key to something else, knowledge of self. Once again, thank you. Hashima, respectful greetings to all ones.
We will be exploring abundance. And you see, we like this word. It's in the title of the show. But also we have a center called the Abundance Center.
It has come to our attention that a mysterious force is loose somewhere in outer space.
The mysteries of creation are there.
Abundance.
The moon and the planets are there.
Abundance.
And new hopes for knowledge and peace are there.
Abundance.
Warrior dance.
Yes.
I really do enjoy it.
I really enjoyed dancing with people who came to our school.
Because for me, there are so many different dimensions to the formation of the dance, which obviously is something I'm still learning.
I think you ones have a special intelligence. So I'm glad to be here to help you bring it out.
Yep.
Anything else you want to say?
No.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you. Hashima.
Again, it's a very holistic approach, so it's not just about physical movements. There are, each of the movements, there is a story behind it.
I found it amazing.
There is also, this thing with it the physical side of it, where I'm obviously strengthening my body as well.
So what we're doing is broadening our horizon.
And then this whole thing of being in touch with my breath.
Yeah, no, good. I've really enjoyed the day. Thank you.
And
And I found it very interesting and very extremely actually abundant, and helps me with my skills and versatility.
having a holistic approach to bringing yourself into harmony with dance. I mean, I can't actually articulate how empowering that is in itself.
Really good to see children who don't normally come forward in a lesson to really shine.
Just being, a black woman, it is very much something that resonates with me. This thing of, I enjoy freedom of movement.
Did you know that maths was related to dance?
No.
What did you learn most about that?
That it can be a pattern in a rhythm.
But then having a basis and an understanding of how I'm moving my body as well. It's very, it's great. It's very, it's fun as well. Yeah.
Today, one of the things we like to do is bring the idea that maths and art, and maths and dance are one thing. I mean, how did you find that? Did you know that before?
That great. No, I didn't know that before, but as you taught us, I did understand. And as this course is called Abundance, I really do think you have to taught us in abundance.
Oh, well, that's very good. So what does abundance mean?
Abundance means intense, exceedingly well.
Okay. That's good.
That's what you found for me. Personally.
I am Astehmari Batekun.
So, for example, in Oxford and Cambridge, 21 of Oxford and Cambridge's colleges had no black students accepted into their courses. Now, what Cambridge, for example, said at the time was that was because there wasn't enough black students getting their required grades, so A stars or A's at A level. So they said that there was only 315 black students across the country that got the required grades, which is great for Cambridge, and it sounds like a good reasoning and logical reasoning for them, but that really shows the root cause of the problem. Why should there be so few black students in this academic system getting those top grades? We can't insinuate or say that for some reason, because they're black, they're not capable of getting those grades. So it kind of indicates to a wider establishment problem that's not getting these students through the system, through the academic system successfully. And that's why when we get to them teaching or in the academic professions higher up as professors, and we're seeing the numbers dwindling as you go through the system.
They make observations to build explanations and estimations based on known information. So, what you know about STEM? Mathematics and science, engineering, technology. If you take a look back through history, science and maths evolved to
I myself would like to be a scientist too.
Okay, that's good.
And in the Abundance Centre, maths is helping me in science as well, because I hear that scientists use maths to do science.
It was really good to see children who don't normally come forward in a lesson to really shine.
hydrogen, helium, then lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon, then sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon and phosphorus and sulfur and chlorine and argon and then potassium, calcium, scandium, titanium,
what was the idea of maths being in dance?
It was good, we developed maths. Yeah, like usually I hate maths, but now it just gets you into it.
Okay, I see, that's the idea.
So what we're doing is broadening our horizon.
And then this whole thing of being in touch with my breath.
Yeah, no, good. I've really enjoyed the day. Thank you.
And I found it very interesting and very extremely actually abundant, and helps me with my skills and versatility.
I found it amazing.
So what you bring to the day is very important, but it's also very unique.